The President, please be seated. The court is now in session. During today's sessions, the Chamber continues hearing the evidence in case file 002/01, and as scheduled from today, the trial chamber will be hearing the testimonies of TCW 110 and scheduled to also hear TCW 126. Before we commence the proceedings, Mr. Evidentiary is now directed to report to the Chamber on the current status of the parties to the proceedings. Evidentiary. Good morning, Mr. President and Your Honors. All parties to the proceedings are present, except Mr. Nguyen Chia, who is present but in his holding cell due to his health concerns. Witness TCW 110, who is scheduled to give testimony today, is present in a waiting room. This witness has taken an oath before the Iron Jenny this morning, and the witness has already confirmed that the witness is not in a relationship with both co-accused Mr. Nguyen Chia and Khieu Samphan, or a civil party admitted in this case file. The witness is assisted by jury counsel Muon Sovan. During today's session, there is a reserved witness, TCW 126. This witness also confirms, according to the witness' best recollection and experiences, the witness is not in a relationship with the co-accused persons, Mr. Khieu Samphan and Nguyen Chia, or a civil party who has been admitted in the case file. The witness also took the oath. The President, thank you. During today's session, the Chamber is seized of a medical report by a treating physician of Mr. Nguyen Chia, who has conducted the medical examination on Mr. Nguyen Chia, and the physician confirms that Mr. Nguyen Chia's health is stable, although the doctors recommended that the Chamber allow him to observe the proceedings from the holding cell due to his lower back pain. And the Chamber has already ruled on the same matter on the 8th of April 2013. The Chamber allowed him to observe the proceedings from his holding cell through audio-visual link. The Chamber will uphold the same ruling on this matter as long as his health status remains stable. If these health concerns change, then the Chamber will decide accordingly. Court officer is now directed to call witness TCW 110 and the duty counsel. The President, very good morning, Mr. Witness. What's your name? Response, I am Chuk Rin. The President, thank you, Mr. Chuk Rin. Do you also have other name, for example, an alias? Response, I can also be called Sok. Other than that, I have no other names. Question, Mr. Chukrin, how old are you? Response, I am 60 years old. Thank you. Question, where do you live? Response, I live in Chom Ka Bay Village, Pong Tak, Commune, Dom Nak Chong Ao District, Kap Province. Question, what is your father's name? Response, Chuk Chieng. Question, what is your mother's name and how many children do you have? Response, I have 5 children. My mother was Nyat Lui. She passed away. The President, Mr. Chuk Rin, according to the report by the court greffier, you are not in a relationship with a civil party who has been admitted in this case, and you are not in a relationship with the co-accused Mr. Nuon Chea and Khieu Samphan. Is this account correct? Response, yes, it is. I am not in a relationship with any of them, but indeed I was their subordinate. The President, according to the same report, you already took the oath before you appear before this chamber, and that you took the oath in front of the Iron Jenny. Is it correct? Response, yes, it is. I already took the oath. The President, thank you. Mr. Chuk Rin, as a witness, you can enjoy the following rights and you have the following obligation. As the witness before this chamber, you may object to making any statement that might tend to incriminate you. In other words, you have the right not to incriminate yourself. And today you have already made a request to be assisted by a jury counsel regarding your rights. And if you feel your response may incriminate you, you may take the advantage of having your jury counsel sitting next to you to consult this first. And as the witness, you are to respond to all questions posed to you by the chamber and parties to the proceedings, except the questions that you feel may incriminate you in your responses. And you are, as the witness, to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. You shall respond to the questions based on your experiences, best recollection, and knowledge. Mr. Chukrin, have you ever given any interviews to any of the co-investigators or investigators of the Office of Co-Investigating Judges, for example, during 2008 or 2009? Response. In 2008 and 2009, I had met co-investigators of the Khmer Tribunal on 3 occasions. Question. Do you remember where the interviews were conducted? Response. They were conducted at the Prasar M1 prison. The President. Thank you. Before you appear before the chamber, Mr. Chukrin, have you read the records of the interviews before the co-investigating judges to refresh your memory? Response. Regarding this, allow me, Mr. President and Your Honors, to say a few words. And I wish to also inform everyone in and outside this courtroom that I have written a letter that I would be assisting the ECCC. I would assist the court with my knowledge of what happened between 1975 and 1979, but 5 years passed and my health condition is not good. I wrote such a letter to the president of the trial chamber and the judges of the trial chamber requesting that I would like to withdraw from being a witness as my health does not allow, and I have already submitted all the supporting documents to the court to support this. Nonetheless, I have never been informed or replied regarding the letter I submitted. But on the 12th of April, before the Khmer New Year, a group of officers approached me and they said they were from the Vesu unit. And they told me that I would be summoned to appear before the chamber during the 20th and 21st of April. And I also discussed this with the president of the prison, and I talked to him about the letter I sent to the president concerning my health. And now I still am needed at the court as important witness. I don't object to these terms. However, I would like the chamber to help me and understand my situation. And you know that my health is not very good, and the food ration offered to me in the prison is not sufficient. And also I have problem with my eyesight, and I haven't had time to read all the documents during the last 3 months because I need my health to be better before I can wear glasses, eyeglasses to read all these documents. But for the time being, I cannot read them very well because my eyesight does not allow me to do that. And as an educated person, I would really like to consult all the documents before I can fully assist the chamber. But to my dismay, I have never received any response from the chamber regarding the request I made earlier. And as I indicated, I would really love to say a few things in this courtroom. And I was not happy that Mr. Ieng Sari passed away. And I haven't had a moment to say a few things, a few words before he died. And now the remaining head of the Communist Party is Mr. Nuon Chea alone in these proceedings. And before the co-investigating judges, I talked to them already, but I also made a request to the co-investigating judges to release Mr. Khieu Samphan because he was not a senior communist leader. Again, I have some problem with my throat and I have a headache, and I can say that my health is not really convenient or good enough for me to do any good service to the court. So let me reassure the chamber that I would really love to be able to assist the chamber, but I would like to make sure that I can can at least use the 70% of my capacity and energy to tell the chamber everything I know. But I don't think I am in good health to do that now. And I, as a former Khmer Rouge commander, I would never withdraw from this moment. I am still as brave as I used to be, but at this moment I would like to withdraw. It doesn't mean that I withdraw from giving the testimony, but I would like to make sure my health is better, my head is clear, my mind is clear, so that I can give full and good testimony. I already took the oath, and as a person who believes in strong Buddhism, I would not wish to tell the court any unclear historical events, and I would like to make sure that the younger generation can get the best out of my testimony. With that, Mr. President and Your Honors, I would like you to consider my letter, and when it comes to my health concerns, I have already submitted all relevant documents concerning this, and I believe that the chamber may not need to spend a lot of money to help treat my health condition, because I do not wish the court to give me any money, but I wish to also tell the chamber that currently at the M1 prison, I am offered only 2,800 real of food ration a day. It is not decent enough to make me healthy enough to sit here. So for that, I would like the chamber to make sure that I can have enough food to eat and my health is properly checked and that I can regain all the energy so that I can fully assist the chamber in full course. I asked the president of M1 prison already that he allows, I asked him to allow me to be hospitalized so that I could be properly treated, so that my mind can be very clear before I can give such a testimony. So far, I have been allowed to be treated, but we do not have all means for me to be treated as such. So I would like the Chamber finally to entertain my request. And again, let me make it clear that I am not under any pressure that I lose this character to tell everything before the Chamber. I have to say that I am not a person like Nuon Chea who is not responsible for what he has done. I am a person of full responsibility here. The President, thank you. Mr. Co-Prosecutor, you may proceed first.
Mr. President, Your Honours, good morning. I only rose to my feet because Mr. Chuk Rin's been speaking now for a considerable length of time, and I'm sure that the court is anxious to proceed with proceedings this morning. So I simply rose because it seems to me that the Chamber needs to respond to what Mr. Chuk Rin has said. Thank you.
The President, the Chamber wishes to inform Mr. Chuk Rin that the reason the Chamber has not responded to your request because the Chamber has noted that the importance of your testimony supersedes this, and we are convinced that your testimony will be very important in ascertaining the truth before the Chamber. And also, the Chamber has not been seized of any relevant or reasonable pieces of evidence to allow the Chamber to sit hearing your testimony. And today we note that you made such a request. However, during the early session, you already made it clear in your testimony. You're very articulate in your words, and we are convinced that you can also expedite the proceedings by doing your best to give testimony during these sessions, and also to make sure that case file 002/1 can be concluded expeditiously with your help. And practically, the Chamber will continue hearing your testimony today, and please do your best and fulfill your duty as the witness, as the chamber already informed you of. And if you feel that your health does not allow you to continue giving such testimony, you can feel free to make such a request in this courtroom during these sessions to me, the President of the trial chamber, and we can rule upon your request accordingly. And at the same time, Mr. Chukrin, please respond to all the questions posed to you precisely, concisely, and briefly. And we understand that due to your health concern, you should be brief and concise in your testimony. It can save us time, and it can also expedite the proceedings. And we thank you very much for referring to your strong belief in your oath, and we also trust that you will be telling all the truth before this, although you may say something which is perhaps not very relevant to all the truth. We believe that the Iron Jenny would not be very harsh on you, because we know time has passed and it's been a long time. But please do your best. During these sessions, the Chamber wishes to inform the prosecution that you will have the floor before other parties to the proceedings to put questions. Both the co-prosecutors and the lead co-lawyers for the civil parties will have the full day for questioning, and the defense counsels will also be allocated another full day for such examination. Counsel Sonarun. Mr. President, may I be heard, please, before co-prosecutor proceed? The President, you may proceed. Counsel Sonarun. Good morning, Mr. President and Your Honors, and very good morning to you, Mr. Chuk Rin. I believe that you, Mr. Chukran, as a witness, and you said you are not very well. Although you have taken the oath, I am convinced that the deteriorating health condition may make the witness feel disoriented, and I would like to make sure that he can fully give his testimony by having him checked by a treating physician before he can proceed. The President Counsel, you are belated in raising this point. You cannot really be on your feet to say things that the Chamber has already ruled upon. You should have been quicker than that. The Chamber has already been prepared, and we have already ruled. And please be seated. Co-prosecutors, you may now proceed. Co-prosecutor, good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, Your Honor. And good morning, Mr. Witness. I am Cham Chawan and Mr. Kiraina from the Office of Co-Prosecutors. I and my colleague have a few questions for you, and we would like you to respond to those questions. I will begin by focusing on the first part of the questions concerning your personal early days when you entered the Communist Party. According to the document, you gave a document relevant to your account, document E3/361, document in English REN number, rather French number 0026 8861. You said at the beginning you was ordained as the Buddhist monk, but later on you joined the party where in the place where you ordained as the monk. Can you recollect when you were ordained as the Buddhist monk? How old were you, and why did you become a monk? Response: I already talked or mentioned to the president of the trial chamber that I have not reviewed the documents, and now the chamber wishes to force me to speak, even if I haven't read all these documents, so I may exercise my rights not to respond to any of the questions put to me now. And before I conclude, I would like Mr. President to help me first, because I do not want to harm the whole court proceedings and the national interest by giving uncertain testimony. So I would like to exercise my right not to speak now, and I would like the chamber to help me first with my health conditions. The President, co-prosecutor, please be seated. The President, Mr. Witness, can you tell the chamber how would you like the chamber to help you? Chukrin, I would like a doctor to check my health to see whether I am fit to respond to all the questions. And as I made it clear, I never wish to get away from this. I would like to be able to tell the chamber everything I know, and I would like not to obstruct any proceedings. But my health is not very good. I have been in ill health for the last few years, and a few months rather. And Nuon Jie, during the old days, ordered me to do things even I was not well, but I had to perform the task because I was afraid I would be killed if I opposed such orders. But now, before this chamber, I would not wish to experience the same things. I would not like to give testimony when I am not mentally and physically well. So I would like the chamber to forgive me for this. If my words or the wordings are not proper, please forgive me.
លោកប្រធាន
The President, National Co-Prosecutor, you may proceed. National Co-Prosecutor, before the Chamber rules on the request by the witness, the prosecutors would like to have a small request. First, as the witness, he has to respond to the question. This is the first question, and this question does not incriminate the witness. And he already said very clearly he has good memory and he knows the roles, his roles during these proceedings. And he also said he had problem reading documents. With that, the prosecutors would like to suggest that a person be allowed or provided to assist him reading the documents for him before he can continue giving the testimony. Counsel Sonarun, Mr. President, may I be heard, please? The President, you may proceed. Counsel Sonarun. Witness already made it very clear again that his health is not good. Whether he should be read aloud or not, it is not relevant. The most important thing is that he has to be clear in his mind when responding to all questions, because if his health does not allow him to say things precisely, it would not do any good to the chamber. The President, Co-Prosecutor, you please be seated. That should be enough. Mr. Chukrin, before you were summoned to appear before the chamber, had your health condition be checked? Response. A treating physician came to me to check my condition. I told him that I had problem with my throat and I felt uneasy sitting up for a long time, and I already made it clear to him that the neck is rather stiff, and I already wrote to the chamber on this. I did not wish to disturb the proceedings, and I would like to make it clear that the chamber would proceed with the result witness, and when my health is better, I would be coming back at any time after I have indeed reviewed all the relevant documents. Mr. President and Your Honors, I hope I have made it clear already. I also note the presence of the court observers and the audience, and I would like to make sure that my testimonies are clear and precise, and for that please allow me to be properly treated, and when my health is better, I will be back at no time. I just would like to make sure my testimonies are precise and clear and acceptable. That's all from me, Mr. President and Your Honors. The President, thank you, Mr. Chukrin. The Chamber notes the change in your situation. In the records, the written record of witness interviews, you stated that you were happy and you guaranteed that you would give the full testimony, your accounts you have experienced, and you were aware during the time period of 1975 to 1979, and you made it very clear before the co-investigators. And later, you submitted a letter to withdraw from being a witness, and the chamber already noted that there is no reason you should submit such letter, but we also heard from you that you would like to withdraw your witness status because your health does not allow you to do that. But the chamber already indicated earlier that your testimony is very important because you served in the army since 1970, early 1970, and your role in the army is very important to help the court reflect what could have happened or what could have become of such structure. Mr. Chokrin, can you tell the chamber precisely where you live? Response. I am now at Prisor M1 prison. The President, are you there as a convicted person or are you on provisional detention? Response. I am a convicted person. I have been serving the sentence for more than 10 years already. Question. How long are you supposed to serve the sentence term? Response. At the trial court, I was sentenced on one occasion and I was pardoned. However, the Court of Appeal has sentenced me to life imprisonment. So from that time until I had been serving this sentence, I've been in the prison for more than 10 years. The President, thank you, Mr. Chukrin. I would like to know whether fellow judges of the bench would like to say a few things concerning this. Judge Sylvia Cartwright, you may now proceed.
Yes, thank you, President. Chukrin, you have been speaking now for almost 1 hour, and during that time we might have heard some useful information from you. So I am asking you to stop wasting time, because you will be able to leave the courtroom much sooner if you simply answer the questions that are put to you. The question that has been put to you so far did not require much thinking on your part. And so I am asking you to respond to the questions, because you must do so unless they tend to incriminate you, that is, to be against your personal interests. Now, the ECCC doctor will keep a watch on your medical condition while you are here at the court, but the ECCC has no power to provide you with further medical assistance, and that is the case for every witness or expert who comes to the court. So the Chamber is now instructing you to answer the questions, and if you become tired, we will certainly consider taking a break to give you a chance to recover. So I'm now going to ask the prosecutor to continue with the questions and remind you to listen to them carefully and answer very briefly. So please, no more wasting of time, which is only making you more tired and depriving the court and all the people who have come to listen to you of your very useful information. It's very clear that not everyone in this courtroom wants you to speak, but the judges do, and we want to hear from you. So please, will you answer the questions now? Thank you.
Lord Chukrin.
National Co-Prosecutor, right now it is 10. It's 10 o'clock, so right now I would like to ask my first question again. So when you were ordained as a monk, how old were you at the time and where were you ordained as a monk? The witness, I could remember, but I would like not to answer the question. I will give the answer after I have my health checked and my health become better. The President, Co-Prosecutor, you may proceed.
Mr. President, Your Honours, I'm sure, I know that Her Honour Judge Cartwright has this in mind, given her comments, but this trial chamber is not here to bargain with Mr. Chuk Rin. He is under a legal duty to answer questions. As has been said, they do not incriminate him. The last question was the simplest question one can imagine. In my respectful submission, Mr. Chuk Rin's behaviour already in this court this morning shows him to be what in common law terms would be described as a hostile witness. In other words, a witness who does not appear to want to perform their duty to answer questions to the court. The court has urged him to answer the question. He is prevaricating on the most baseless grounds to try and stop giving evidence. In my respectful submission, the only way he can be dealt with now as a witness is by the prosecution reading to the court what he said in his previous OCIJ interviews and asking him if he accepts what he told interviewers when matters were much fresher in his mind in 2008. I say that because if we continue now with open-ended questioning with a witness who does not want to answer questions, the whole day will be lost. So my application is that the prosecution now be entitled to state to him what he said in a previous interview and to ask him whether that is right or wrong. And his only answers can be, that is right or that is wrong.
The President, Cooley Lawyer, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The President, the Cooley Lawyer, you may proceed first.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to endorse the proposal by the co-prosecutor, and I would like to add a few words following the conduct of this witness, who refers to his age and fatigue, and has observed, nevertheless, that there are many people in the gallery. I would also like him to know that here present are victims and civil parties who are as tired as he is. And this gentleman who is talking about his spirituality and his belief should have some respect for other Cambodians who are waiting to hear what he knows, who want him to say what he knows, instead of hearing him say that he is unable to testify. His testimony is important, as is the testimony of other witnesses. It is his legal and moral duty vis-à-vis the persons here present.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, Your Honours. Good morning, everybody in the courtroom. It is obvious to us and to everybody in this courtroom that this witness is a hard bargainer. And it is, in fact, bargaining. We agree on this with the prosecution. However, I strongly disagree when it comes to the position taken by the prosecutor that this witness has only two possibilities in answering his intended questions, that is to say, right or wrong, after being read the passages from his earlier statements with the OCIJ. He has also, if questions are asked according to those lines, the right to not incriminate himself and the right to remain silent as a witness. Whatever his reasons are, whether he wants to have something to eat or whether he wants to have medical attention, obviously they're not valid reasons, but we can not and can never will go into the circumstances under which he is actually not answering questions. If he is invoking his right to remain silent because he says that it is incriminating himself, then we have to respect that, no matter what his reasoning behind it.
The President, thank you. The counsel for Mr. Kilsampon, you may proceed. Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to make some comments regarding the request by the co-prosecutor. He said that he would ask Mr. Chukrin by reading the written record of Mr. Chukrin and then request him to say yes or no. I believe that such request, such practice is not correct in accordance with our rule. So I would like the chamber to decide to rule upon this. President, the co-prosecutor, you may proceed.
Just very briefly, Mr. President, I hope I don't have to address the court on whether Mr. Chuk Rin's view of what constitutes an incriminating question is what is important. It's what the Chamber believes the question to entail. And I anticipate that nearly every question asked by the prosecution will not be a question, the answer to which would incriminate Mr. Chuk Rin. Secondly, it's been proposed or submitted that the proposed course of conduct is contrary to the internal rules. I respectfully submit that that's entirely wrong for these reasons. And this has been canvassed on a number of previous occasions, and so I'm repeating submissions, forgive me, that the prosecution has made on previous occasions. The OCIJ interviews are on the case file. They are obviously admissible evidence. The proposal is not a new one. It's not even, in effect, a proposal. It's adhering to directions given by the court on previous occasions, which has been along these lines. The President, as we know, asks the witness if they've given the previous statements, and if given, are they true? When Mr. President asked that question this morning, there was a delaying tactic employed by Mr. Chuk Rin when he started to talk about not being able to read properly and other answers. We need to see this for what it is. It is a recalcitrant witness. The court has stated that it's important that his evidence is heard, and this is a perfectly permissible procedure. The procedure starts with a memory refreshing approach to put the statement to the witness to refresh their memory. It's quite plain that that approach would not work with this witness, and the only way that the court can receive this extremely important testimony is to put to the witness what they said and ask them to comment. If he chooses then not to answer the questions, that's a matter for him, but be it on his head. Thank you.
The President, co-prosecutor, you may proceed to the question.
Mr. Chukrin, I'm going to put to you now extracts of the interviews that you had with the co-investigating judges in this case. There were two interviews that I'll be concentrating on. They are E3/361, an interview which took place on the 9th of April 2008 from 9 a.m. in the morning until 11 a.m. And next, E3/362, an interview which took place on the 29th of July 2008 from 2:30 in the afternoon until 4:15 in the afternoon. In document number E3/361, English ERN 007 66449, French 002 68881, and Khmer 001 94464, you stated to the investigating judges the following: I was angry when Nguyen Chia said he was not responsible for anything that happened during 1975 to 1979. He was a high-level cadre. Why were you angry at Nguyen Chia?
Answer. I did not want the President, Mr. President. As I said, I did not withdraw myself as a witness. I did not give up giving the testimony. I do not want the co-prosecutor to read the statement like that. I want to give the answer myself. Reading and speaking myself are not the same. I don't know why the chamber accused me of wasting the time. I have written a letter to the chamber already. In that letter, I request the delay because of my health problem. I know, all of you know about that. I just want the delay, but you blame me. You say that I am the one who wastes the time, and my letter is meaningless. So it seems you are treating me not like a human being, but as an animal. So as I told the chamber, I do not give up. And I do not want other people to speak instead of me. When I am good, I am well, I will come. So I would like all the people to see whether this is my mistake or the mistake of the chamber or the mistake of the head of the prison who might not send a letter to the chamber. I did not give up. I would come back. And if I have read the document, I would give the answer. I do not waste the time. So, Mr. President and Your Honors, please forgive me. Of course, my word may not sound appropriate. Please forgive me. You know about my health problem already because I have submitted the medical document, but you do not have mercy on me. The President, you do not respond and then you insult the chamber. Is this because you serve the life imprisonment and then you stay in the prison and then you dare to do that? We try to do our best. As I have told you, we have received your request already. But if you look at your 3 requests, you have changed your mind. We review your request in the chamber. To see whether we should summon you or not. And we have informed you about the importance of your presence and your testimony in the chamber. And it seems that it does not take longer time with regard to the sovereign of the case, and we try to get your clear stand. First of all, you state that you will try to do your best to give more details about what happened during the Khmer Rouge regime, especially what happened from 1975 to 1979. This statement was written. And the second request, you withdraw, you give up being a witness. And the third request, when we set a clear schedule and then you change your mind, you mention your health reason in order to ask the chamber to delay the testimony, the hearing. The chamber gives you a chance to testify because we understand your health problem, so we make the compromise. The co-prosecutor just read the statement that you gave to the investigator. Remember that the evidence can be admitted is valuable when it is debated in front of the chamber. So the chamber can consider it, can use it. The evidence is not valuable if it is just stored in the case file. So this is important for us to conduct a hearing to hear the debate.
Mr. President, can I please add this? In a trial in 2010, I spent 2.5 days examining a hostile witness. It can be a painful experience for everyone involved. But, Mr. President, I, as a prosecutor, have a legal duty to put these extracts of these interviews to Mr. Chuk-rin, Mr. Chuk-rin. If he is going to choose to continue to insult all the judges in this court, all the counsel in this court, everyone who is assembled to hear this evidence, and everyone who may be viewing this over the live feeds, that is his choice. But I have a duty to put these questions, and I am asking, please, the trial chamber to allow me to put these questions in their entirety to this witness. He can give whatever response he chooses to, but if his responses are repetitive of what he's already said, I ask you, Mr. President, to intervene. He can answer how he wishes to, but can I make it plain to him Mr. Chuk Rin, I am not going to stop asking you questions because you don't want to answer them. I'm going to move on to another extract of your interview. It's the same page as those I've already referred to. And you said this: "It is not true what Nguyen Cheas said about him not knowing." What was not true about what Mr. Nguyen Cheas said, Mr. Chuk Rin?
You may read. You just continue reading. I just listen.
Thank you very much. You spoke in the same interview, E3/361. ERN English 007 66451, French 0026 8884, and Khmer 001 94467. You were talking about the decision to purge the East Zone, and you said this: "The decision to purge, literally to sweep and make clean the East Zone, was made after the party annual General Assembly in early 1978. With Pol Pot, Nguyen Chia, Tham Mok and Son Sen holding a special meeting with military commanders, including myself, in Phnom Penh. Pol Pot spoke about the plan to purge. Then Nguyen Chia agreed with what Pol Pot had said. Nguyen Chia and Pol Pot supplied detailed information on the plans to arrest and remove the cadres from the East Zone. How much detail did Nguyen Chia and Pol Pot supply about the plans to arrest and remove the cadres from the East Zone?
You just read.
In a different interview, E3/362, English ERN 002 68896, French 002 68904, and Khmer 002 10211 through 12. You said, and in reference to the East Zone purge again, there were many meetings at the division level to prepare this scheme. Ren, Tham Mok's son-in-law, sent a telegram to me asking me to return to Phnom Penh to attend a special meeting with the top leaders who would discuss the purge of the eastern cadres. There were about 600 to 700 participants, including Ms. Mut, Sok Tien, Ieng Pan, D and T, with the presence of Pol Pot, Ta Mok, Nuon Chea and Son Sen. In the meeting, Nuon Chea said, "We must purge the internal enemy." Is that correct?
Response. You can continue reading.
In E3/361, English ERN 007-66453, French 002-68885, and Khmer 001-94467. Speaking of this same meeting, you said as follows, and I quote, "We also received verbal orders in a special military meeting in Phnom Penh, attended by military commanders. This meeting was held about the same time as the party annual General Assembly. There were separate meetings for the military commanders and the civil side. I attended the meeting for military commanders, with approximately 40 to 50 division and regimental commanders in attendance. Pol Pot talked to us. Then Tamok spoke on the point of the necessity of the internal purge of the party. Nuon Chea spoke of cleansing the party ranks. Is that what Nuon Chea said?
Response. You should continue reading.
Again, talking about the same meeting, the same meeting, ERN French 00268890, Khmer 001-94472. You said as follows. Nuon Chea spoke about purging embedded enemies, boring holes inside. Enemies that were the arms and legs of the Yuan. Nuon Chea ordered the arrests, meaning the purge. In that era, the term purge meant to arrest and kill. Is that right?
Response. Go ahead. Read more. I'm not very well to respond.
In the same interview, E3/361, French 002 8887, Khmer 001 94467, English 007 66453. You said this to the investigators. Pol Pot frequently spoke about the necessity of purging, meaning making arrests. And Nuon Chea talked about internal enemies. How often did Nuon Chea talk about internal enemies?
Response. You just continue reading because everything is in there. The President, since it is now appropriate moment for the morning adjournment, the Chamber will adjourn. And court officer is now instructed to assist the witness during the adjournment and have him return to the courtroom by 11 o'clock.
សូមក្រោកឈរ